I certainly hope this is focused. Is this dress okay? Oh my god. Shit, should I turn it around? No, this is better. Okay. Hello. So I'm doing another Q&A. The first video I did got like a good response, and I feel like I'm gonna keep doing them. So if you want to ask me like cool questions, just like send some, well, I don't know, I'll announce when I want you to send a shit. So my first question is from Love Art. Hey Amy, huge fan of your work. Wanted to ask you for some tips as a first timer. Is it better to have something really planned out and on the spot on what you want going into the tattoo shop, or is it better to have a loose concept and let the artist do their thing? So for me, I definitely prefer it if my customer kind of pretty much gives me the most amount of freedom possible. That's what I prefer. However, I do, you know, if someone wants a go ahead, you know, I want to go ahead and I maybe want her with something mystical, that'll do. Or, you know, just one concept, one idea, maybe two is cool. But then after that, I really want to just be able to have the freedom to do my own thing. And I think that is kind of, as a tattoo artist, that's where you kind of got to do your own thing and kind of meet what the customer wants, but you got to just try and make it so fucking cool that they have to get that, you know, and they're never going to refuse your stuff. So that's what I say about that. Romero, you're sat on my questions. This is Romero. So the second question. Hey Amy, do you prefer doing tats of women or animals? I would say I definitely prefer doing portraits. I mean, it's not like I prefer women in real life over animals or anything. I love all kinds of nature, but I love doing portraits. I've just started actually drawing like boys' faces, and I want to do kind of like older people. And I wish, man, that people would want to get tattooed of like darker skin toned women as well. That'd be amazing. Or just anything apart from like white girls. That'd be sick. Yeah, I think I just love doing the skin tones, and I just love skin. I'm just fascinated by humans. I just think they're beautiful. So yeah, that I do prefer, definitely prefer that. Rose Ruby says, what's your waiting list like? Is the studio easy to get to? So I don't have a waiting list. I've never had a waiting list. I've been tattooing for like 7 years, but I moved around the country like quite a lot during that time. And kind of moving around means I didn't really have that local client base. Most of my stuff's like kind of Instagram based. So I'm kind of booked up maybe for like 2 or 3 months at the moment, but also I don't like to book up further than that. I will never allow my bookings to go further than a few months, because otherwise I just feel trapped. And if I want to make plans, I have to make them, you know. I don't have big enough responsibilities here to need a big waiting list, so I just like to keep it like chill and floating at the moment. The studio is easy to get to as well. It's just like pretty much kind of in the centre of Oxford. You can, I mean, if you're coming from out of the country, you can fly into Heathrow or Gatwick and you just get a bus straight into Oxford. Or if you're coming from London, pretty much most trains get into Oxford like really easy. And there's parking nearby, and it's like in a nice place, so it's easy. Josafa Cardoso, I think, I don't know, says, how do you define your style? Is it just neo-trad, or can we get some other references? I've never really thought of my style as neo-trad. Obviously I had, like, my dad is a tattooist, and he was always doing kind of like American traditional tattoos and Japanese stuff. So my kind of roots is like more based in traditional stuff anyway. And when I was the first 3 years, maybe first 2 years of my tattooing was like I was kind of just trying to do, yeah, just traditional stuff. So that was kind of like my basis for tattooing. And then I kind of stopped doing that and was like kind of fully I started going out with another tattooist, and he kind of was just giving me his tricks, and I was starting to colour in stuff like him, which was kind of like more saturated and kind of painterly. And then from there, I then decided to kind of, I remember just one day thinking like, what do I want my tattoos to really be like, you know, just always fucking thinking about this. And there's a few boxes that I wanted to tick, you know. I kind of want them to be like luxury, I want them to be classic, and I want them to be really beautiful. So I was kind of thinking about my favorite art, and it has to be enjoyable for me too. So I was thinking about my favorite kind of artists is kind of like neoclassical stuff, you know, kind of psychedelic stuff by Alphonse Mucha, or pre-Raphaelite movement, that kind of stuff. So I just basically kind of just blended that all together in my mind. I was never really thinking about what style. Neo-traditional. I call my style Fantasia because when I was a kid, I remember I watched that film Fantasia, and every single thing in it just fascinated me, and I was just drawing all these like you know, like mermaids and fish and mushrooms and all this stuff. And I think from there, that's kind of like what got me into this kind of idea of the psyche and like this kind of things. I don't know, mysticism, if you will, that kind of stuff. So my style is Fantasia. Paisley Pop Tart says, will you ever come to Vancouver, Canada? I don't know, I haven't got any plans. I would like to go to Canada. If there's skiing in Vancouver that I can incorporate with tattooing, I'm fucking definitely gonna go. Emily Stewartist says, when it comes to colouring your tattoos, do you know exactly where each colour is going as you're drawing a stencil on? Do you figure out more organically as you go? Yeah, I pretty much never know the colours. I just freehand the design on. I try and just make sure it's flowing with the body. I just try and get that concept right. And then I line everything with a very small liner, so I don't have to like commit to like big lines right in the beginning. So then once I've kind of done all these skinny lines, I kind of take a photo of the tattoo, and then I might do like a rough color layout, but it'll be very rough, just kind of so the tattoo's broken up. You know, there might be red here, red here, red here, and then green, green, green to break it up. I would basically do that, and then from there everything is organic. I don't set out I have like a big like range of colors set out, but I basically dip all the time, mixing, 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 and I just see the color that I like pretty much at the end of the tip. And I think that is really organic. And also, don't wash out your needle too much. Just keep your needle, just mix anything with anything, man, and that's just going to keep it all really organic. That's a good question. Okay. Isaac Mafago, who is Portuguese, I mean Brazilian, because this is just written in Portuguese. I think he said, what pencil do you use to freehand? And I just use Sharpies. Sharpies stay on the skin pretty well, and they stay fresh pretty long time. And you can get them well cheap at WH Smith, so that's why I use Sharpies. Estudio Marco Barcelos. I would like to know what colours you think is essential to have in your palette colours to make the most of your skin tones. Okay, so for my skin tones, I can easily tell you this without giving any of my secrets away. I would just say a lot of pastel colours, a lot of light colours. I try and do every single tattoo that's of a face different. I would never ever have the same colour set out for skin tone ever. I would usually get like a kind of a very light beige, maybe. There's a fusion ink by Nico called Stone, which is really good. No, is it Stone? No, Bone, and then like obviously have black, and then just some browns. I would have greens, purples, lilacs, pinks, everything, and then just, you know, just kind of work everything in with the kind of beige colour. Don't use any white in a portrait. Never. I would never use any big areas of white, and don't mix with white either. Mix with like a off kind of creamy colour, I think. Yeah. Pink. You need to have pink. To be honest, skin can be any colour. It depends on the light, everything. So just, I think the main thing is just to look at your reference all the time. Everyone's question. So I have loads of fans in Brazil, it seems. So when am I coming to Brazil? I tell you what, I am gonna come to Brazil, like for sure. I'm gonna go with Kim. So when Kim's ready to go to Brazil, I'm gonna go to Brazil, okay? Julian Bailey says, how do the rotary machines from FK Irons compare to the coil machines in general? This is a mad question because someone asked me that I literally bought like the Spectra Edge, and then like a day later she sent me this question. I was like, what the fuck is this, like mind reading? To be honest, I haven't really been using coils for like ages. I used some by On a Missions, like I was trying them like in the last few years, and they were actually fucking amazing. But I think for me, man, is like so much weight on the back, so much noise, the vibrations in my hand. I know it's like a really pussy tattooer thing to say, and you guys are probably gonna think I'm a dick, but I haven't really used coils for ages. I use a Spectra Edge, and it's sick. It's so sick. It's like, oh my god, I just thinking about this machine, fuck. But yeah, coils is amazing because I think, to be honest, it's similar to the Spectra. It's so hard hitting, and you're gonna make the nicest, crispest, amazing stuff, you know, but there's too many technical difficulties, and you know, they're beautiful. I got a good collection of coils, but rotaries just makes my life easier, man. Vito Ranel says, how do you do your pigmentation so solid? Is it just pressure? No, it's not pressure. It's not pressure because you're really gonna fuck up the skin if it's pressure. You don't want to just be digging in to get everything so solid. You kind of, I just run my machines very fast, and I have like quite a small throw. For lines, obviously I have a big throw. For color, maybe a shorter throw. If I want to do solid areas, I just kind of block it in. I just do it tight, you know. You just move your hand like quicker and like shorter, and just brush it, and then you just do a whole area solid, and then just brush out the other bits. You know, I used to do it in circles, but the skin will fuck up, you know, it just eats it up and it's no good. Basically just keep going till it looks solid without fucking up the skin. You're gonna have to figure it out somehow. I had to figure it out. It's taken me fucking ages. Zuboomafu says, how do you do the shadows on your tattoos? I just do them black. I don't know, well I guess to do the shadows on tattoos or painting or anything, you need to know where your light is coming from. So in this room right now, the light is coming from here. You can see on my face, this is illuminated and this is dark. So pretty much you need to kind of figure out your light sources, and then whatever the light is coming from, the shadow's doing the opposite way, and then you can kind of figure it out, you know, just every single part, look and check. If you know the kind of anatomy of something, the structure of something, you can kind of figure it out. But I use reference all the time, so I don't really have to think about shadows so much. But obviously from just doing this for so many years, I end up knowing this stuff anyway, just automatically. But yeah, I just use black, and then I do a lot of black. You know, some grey, not really grey too much. If it's a colour tattoo, you don't want to do too much grey, it's going to make it look really dirty, but you know, it's good for like holding it in the future. But yeah, just black, and you just do some solid areas, and I always moving the needle in the same direction, never changing, and just brush it out like really smooth. Yeah, I think kind of just having a short throw, run the machines fast, you're gonna have better control over the softness of it all. And it looks like that's the end of the Q&A already, which was fucking easy. So, I don't know what to say about this. Subscribe to the channel, like it, share it, do all that shit. Oh god. And thanks so much for watching. I know it's probably a pretty long video, but anyway, I'm gonna go to my brother's now to do some drawing. Goodbye.